and then we're going to build into, let me get my lady. Okay, we have several vocabulary words at the top of that page, and those are all going to be characteristics of shapes. Okay, Cameron told us that characteristics, a similar word would be features. So whenever we look at those words, we have solid figure, we have cube, faces, edges, and vertex. Raise your hand if you've heard of any of those words before. Okay? You should have heard of all of those words. Okay? You've been talking about faces and edges and vertices probably since close to kindergarten. Okay? So we're just going to do a quick refresher today. Today's lesson should be really easy for you, and if it's not, that's okay. We'll get you there. And whenever we talk about these shapes today, if you look across the top of your page, it shows you several different shapes. It shows you what a rectangular prism looks like, and what a triangular prism looks like, and what a triangular pyramid looks like. Okay, tell me how they come up with those names. How are they coming up with rectangular prism or triangular prism?
Like a rectangular prism is like a rectangle, but it's just three-dimensional.
A three-dimensional rectangle? Okay. What about a triangular prism? Court?
Well, I think they change their names because they're trying to combine two features into one shape.
Okay. So what makes something a prism?
It's three-dimensional and there's faces, vertices, and edges.
Okay. I agree. I think you're on the right track. If you look down on the left-hand side where it says other examples, it gives you the word prism and it tells you the definition of it. Can you read that out loud for me, please? Ben? Prism? Okay, so in order for something to be considered a prism, it has to have two what? Two congruent parallel sides or bases. Okay? What about a cylinder? What makes something a cylinder? Ella?
It has no vertices and it has two bases.
No vertices and has two bases. Okay, so now that we've mentioned that word vertices, what is a vertice? If a cylinder has no vertices, this should also be ringing a bell to you from geometry when we talk about the vertex. Vertices is plural of vertex. Okay, and when we talked about it in geometry, we talked about it as that central angle, that point where that angle, where those two rays meet to form that angle. That's a vertex. So what do we think vertices are? Ella, since you read it.
It's like one, two lines meet. There's a point
Where two line segments meet, right? Okay? And the reason that a cylinder can't be a vertice or can't have a vertice is because it's not made of straight lines, right? Okay? If we look at this is circular. Okay? There's no straight lines there. Okay, read cone for me, please, JT.
Solid with one circular base. Points on this circle are joined to one point outside the base.
Okay? S, the top point up here, that's the one point that they join at. Okay? And pyramid. Okay, then read that for me, please. Jimmy, stop.
pyramid. Solid with a base that is a polygon. The edges of the base are joined to a point outside the base.
Okay, so talk to someone next to you. Tell me the difference between a prism and a pyramid.
It's super parallel. This always has a vertex. They each have parallel lines, and this one has parallel lines everywhere. That's where the base is. The base parallel line. This one only has the base. This has parallel lines. The triangle don't
second, tell
want
me the biggest difference between them. Between a prism and a pyramid. Madison. Perfect. Okay, prism has two congruent parallel bases or faces. Okay, and a pyramid does not. Okay. All right. The only other thing we need to make sure that we know is we need to make sure that we know how to label them. And if you look at the bottom of the page here, it gives you an example. Okay, and I'm going to use the one in the book here. And if you're looking at your page on page 322, it's going to be a lot easier for you to see it. But I want to make sure that you understand how to make sure that you're using these labels properly. Okay, so when we look at the word vertices, we're talking about a point. Notice they're labeling those vertices with one single letter. Okay, so if I say letter A, right there is my vertice. Vertice B is right there. There's no other place that it can be. Where those two lines are meeting, that is a vertice. Okay? Notice whenever they tell us edges, do you see how they put that little line segment symbol above the letters? Does that line segment symbol look familiar? Yes. Okay. Just another reason why making sure you understand those symbols above the letters and what they mean, how those are important. So when we label edges, we give the two letters. So AB would be this side right here. Okay? There would be edge AB. BC is an edge. CZ is an edge. Okay? So you see that, how they're labeling it with two letters? The two letters at the ends of each of those line segments. Okay? You have to make sure that you have this symbol above your line segment letters. Okay? So if you're telling me line segment YX, you have to use the line segment symbol above it. Okay? And then when we talk about faces, we're using all the letters that form the vertices of each face. For example, I'll use red's probably going to be the easiest. If I want to talk about this face right here, this front side, I would call it BYZC. Whoa. Okay, I could also call it BCZY. It doesn't matter as long as I go in order. I can either go this way or I can go this way, as long as I have the four vertices of that face. I cannot say BZYC. I cannot mix those letters up. I either have to go in order this way, or I can go in reverse order. But they have to stay. Yes, they have to stay in order. I could say YZCB, that would be fine. ZCBY, that would be fine, as long as they go in order. I cannot jump around. Okay? Triangle BAC, or CAB, or ABC, however you want to call it. Okay? As long as you know that the points that you're giving, the letters that you give are the vertices of the face. Okay? Questions about that? Pretty simple, right? You've had it for a long time.
Yep.
All right, your question to your homework. Answer number 1, 2, and 3 on 323. 1, 2, and 3. No. When you show me the answer to 1, 2, and 3, I will give you your homework.